Hey guys, Stephen Phillips here, back in the garage. Today we're looking at Flex-A-Lite's stacked plate 21 row performance oil cooler. And with Flex-A-Lite we have Cole. How you doing, Cole?
Doing great, Stephen.
Doing fantastic. Thanks for coming in today.
Good, thank you.
So Cole, there's a few things I want to address in today's video. First of which is going to be, why are we going to need a performance oil cooler? Why is that important for us?
That's a great question. There's really three different sets of people that an oil cooler is a good idea for. One is a race car like what we have here.
Right.
Another is a very high performance street vehicle. And the third is a towing vehicle, a heavy duty pickup truck or something like that.
Okay.
These are all three applications where there's a lot of stress on the engine, builds a lot of heat in the oil, and eventually that can do damage to the engine. The oil breaks down and it's not able to protect the engine like it's supposed to. So a relatively inexpensive engine oil cooler is a good insurance policy for a very expensive engine.
For sure. With that said, why would we pick a Flex-A-Lite oil cooler? What makes yours stand out against the competition out there?
One of the things we did when we completely renovated our engine oil cooler line last year is we looked at what was out there and we said, how can we be significantly better than that? And what we did is we developed a plate style cooler that has turbulators inside.
Okay.
That turbulator keeps the oil mixed as it goes through each plate. If you don't do that, the oil that touches the metal outside of the plate cools down and slows down, and the hot fluid flows right through the middle of it.
Okay.
So by keeping it mixed, we're providing significantly better cooling. Also, when the unit is brazed together, it's extremely strong. In fact, our coolers are rated at 500 psi burst strength.
Gotcha. Wow.
So if you got 500 psi of engine oil pressure, you got a problem somewhere, but your cooler's not going to fail. The other thing we paid a lot of attention to was reducing the drop in oil pressure as the oil flows through the engine oil cooler. A lot of low-cost coolers are a restriction, and you definitely don't want that on the engine oil side then.
All right, so with that said, let's move on to the installation very briefly. So in this specific case, this isn't a very standard install because it's on a dirt track application. And what they've done here, they've actually got dimples in the hood here of the vehicle. And those dimples create negative air pressure to push the air through the coiler. And that's not really a standard install though. So tell us more about some of the more standard ways to install a product like this.
Well, with an engine oil cooler, you need to have air flowing through the cooler in order for it to work.
Right.
So in most applications, you're going to mount it up in front of the radiator or somewhere else where you've got a stream of air moving through the cooler as the vehicle's going down the road.
Absolutely.
We do have another option though. We make the same cooler that has an electric fan mounted on it. That's a remote mount application, we call it, and that allows you to mount it pretty much anywhere. On this car, for example, you could mount it underneath the sheet metal alongside the driver or further back.
Yep.
So that opens up the mounting options that a person has.
That's awesome. So with that said, this is actually going to be more referenced for the person at home that, let's just say they don't have any installation experience at all. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But on a scale of 1 to 10, how difficult do you think this installation is going to be for one of your more standard install procedures?
This is probably a rated 4 or 5 out of 10. Okay. And the only real reason for that is that the consumer is going to have to make some brackets. That might be intimidating for some people. They might have to go to a hardware store, get some miscellaneous pieces, and they've got a little bit of they've got a little bit to figure out in order to mount.
Right.
We do try to make it as simple as we can though. The cooler has got holes top and bottom to attach the brackets to. And with every engine oil cooler, we include 3 sets of AN fittings, dash 8, dash 10, and dash 12. So that's going to accommodate pretty much all the common size oil hoses that somebody might use.
Cool. So with that said, what about a timeline? How long do you think this is going to take that same person to install? Is it something we can do one afternoon? Will it take us a day? Give us a story there.
So on a car like this race car that doesn't have a lot of clutter under the hood, you can install this engine oil cooler in 2 to 4 hours.
Okay.
On a late model pickup truck you use for towing, there's a lot more under the hood that you're going to have to deal with.
Yes.
So that might take a half day, 6 or 7 hours total.
Okay. Well, on a scale from 1 to 10, if we give this a 4 to 5, I do think you can do this on your own, really without many issues. But if you have any hesitations, questions, or problems, or just don't want to do the install for whatever reason, as always, check below in the description. We'll have a dealer locator there, so you can find a dealer in your area who's more than happy to make this install happen for you. All right, guys, that's a wrap on Flex-A-Lite's Performance Oil Cooler. Now, before we go, Cole, thanks again for coming in today.
You're welcome.
It's been a great pleasure. Now, guys at home, if you have any questions or comments about the product, leave those in the comments below. We're happy to address those for you there. If you just want any more details about the product, check in the description. We'll have everything for you there from a part number all the way to a dealer locator so you can find this product at a dealer in your area. If you like the video, leave us a like. If you love the video, subscribe and click the bell icon for notifications anytime we release a new video. Thanks again for tuning in. This has been Parts Pro in the Garage.